so much, Steve. Our next wonderful speaker is Ruby Hughes. Ruby has come down from Hironsay in Queensland.
Hi, my name is Ruby. I am so excited to be here today. I feel very lucky to be speaking to you all. I am 10 years old and I live in Brisbane with my mum, dad, brother Ned and sister Millie. I was born profoundly deaf, which means I can't hear a thing without my cochlear implants. I got my first implant when I was 1 and my second implant just before I started school when I was 5. This was the right choice for me because I can talk very well, do many things, and I feel I have more opportunities. Mum and Dad keep saying I have a lovely voice and speak beautifully. They tell me that I worked really hard when I was little, and they are extremely proud of me. I love going to ballet, doing sprints, dancing, singing, and hanging out with my friends. I also like to make new friends. I like trying new things like tennis, ping pong, soccer, netball, and running club, and I especially love dogs. Did you know being deaf sometimes isn't that bad, because when you take your implants off, and if you are profoundly deaf like me, when your brother and sister are having a fight like mine always do, I can just take them off and have some peace at last because I can't hear them anymore. I am an accessory girl. I love shoes, especially high heels and special kinds of handbags. I first became interested in shoes when I saw Mum wearing a pair of wedges. They looked awesome on her. I remember when I visited here in State for my auditory verbal lessons when I saw Dimity when I was younger. Dimity would always take her shoes off for me to wear as soon as she saw me because she knew how much shoes fascinated me. And I'd wear them until I finished my lesson. That is a special memory. I enjoy many things. One of my favourite things to do is designing clothes and accessories. I like how I can put my imagination into my designs. When I started designing, I felt proud of my creations. If I had $1 million, I would buy 200 pairs of high heels. I like designing dresses, shorts, handbags, earrings, necklaces, sunglasses, and especially high heels. In my future, I would like to be a designer. I would like to design cool clothes that I would wear myself. I would also like to design women's and men's gym clothes. One of the things that I really wanted to do in my whole life was to meet Professor Graham Clark, who invented the cochlear implant. I was very lucky to meet him last year and thank him for his amazing invention, which makes it possible for me to be here today speaking to you all. It was one of my proudest moments. Thank you for listening to my speech, but before I finish, I would like to tell you a very funny joke. An old man was wondering if his wife had a hearing problem, so one night he stood behind her while she was sitting in her lounge chair. He spoke softly to her, "Honey, can you hear me?" There was no response. He moved a little closer and said again, "Honey, can you hear me?" Still, there was no response. Finally, he moved right behind her and said, "Honey, can you hear me?" She replied, for the 3rd time, yes.
Thank you so much, Ruby. Our next speaker is Jonah Roberts from the Shepherd Centre here in the ACT.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, 11 years ago I was born into a world without sound. It was a world in which my mum and dad's lips would move, but nothing was spoken. A world in which my toys were quiet and bath time was silent. Although I did not know it, mine was a world wrapped in the sounds of silence. Although I did not know it at the time as a child born profoundly deaf, my world was soon to change forever. It all started many years earlier with one man's dream to achieve what was considered at the time to be impossible. A humble professor by the name of Graham Clark pursued the dream of helping restore his father's failing hearing and bringing the freedom of sound and speech to the lives of many. But that freedom came at a price. Like many who dream of great technological breakthroughs, the road ahead wasn't easy for Professor Clark. In spite of his determination, he was mocked and ridiculed. He was told that it wouldn't work and that it wasn't possible to make the deaf hear. Professor Clark struggled to find financial support for his research. He sacrificed his public image and his money. He gave up time with his family and friends, and he worked faithfully with an attitude that said, "I can succeed, and I will not give up." Professor Clark used his freedom to offer freedom to thousands of people who he may never meet. The freedom to hear, the freedom to speak, and thus Cochlear was born. The world is changed by men and women of vision, the vision to create, the vision to succeed where others have failed, and the vision to blend imagination with ingenious advances in technology. Cochlear stands today as a tribute to such vision. It is a monument of one of humankind's greatest medical achievements. Although that was just the beginning of the journey, there have been many people who have continued to fight to give deaf children the freedom to hear and to give them a voice. I would like to give credit to our government, past and present, who have continued to financially support the provision of cochlear implants to the hearing impaired. Your support is greatly appreciated and is a far greater gift than you can probably imagine. I would like to thank the First Voice Centres around Australia who work tirelessly to raise extra funds and provide dedicated support to kids like me and our families. You are all amazing people, and I count you among the heroes of my life. To those people who have recognised the importance of this gift and generously donated your own money to see the work continue, I humbly thank you. To my family, who have supported me, encouraged me, laughed with me and cried with me, I want to thank you and say that without you, I wouldn't be here today. Finally, I wish that I could thank Professor Clark personally for the sacrifices he has made, for the vision which burned within his heart to restore hearing to people like me. It has been said that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and I count myself blessed and privileged to be part of this incredible journey of improving the lives of hearing impaired and deaf people around the world. The journey is of course not over, and I only stand here today because I have stood upon the shoulders of giants. Today I could not imagine a world without sound. I have experienced so much, from the rushing of a roller coaster to the soft purring of a kitten. My life has been changed forever, and it is thanks to Cochlear that I've been given the freedom to hear now and always. Thank you.